are not able to function normally. So it's essential. The successful expansive learning requires that you start to create an alliance or a network. The expansion has to be also social expansion. As an individual process, it's too risky and dangerous. You become crazy. The majority will define you as crazy because your notion of what is relevant and right is so radically different from the existing norms that it is very, very essential here that Learning 3, while it's embedded in the normal life, in a sense, like you said, it happens all the time, but it requires very special support and nurturing because, like I said, most commonly you see it being suppressed.
You use the term network, and we've used the term network learning to describe the type of emerging educational system that's developing using new technologies. How do you see activities in education changing in relation to the introduction of network technology?
I see a very sort of two-sided phenomenon. On the one hand, you see this radical immersion and inclusion of that you can actually be immersed and included in a tremendous variety of interactions and potential links to other people and other activities, other cultural resources, and that's the optimistic side of it. At the same time, the logic of the market, the logic of a strictly individualist operation in networks is terribly strong at the moment, including education. So there's a lot of pressure toward turning network technologies into just a magnified market mechanism, marketplace, where everybody is for him or herself only. Everybody is just sort of purchasing and perhaps selling something, but there is no community and no genuine, let's say, collaborative effort around producing something. If it's only selling and buying, where's the production of the new? So the risk of these powerful network technologies, I think, is that they tend to commodify, or at least they allow the commodification of knowledge and so on into packages which are bought and sold individually, and to overcome that, or to at least counterbalance that, you need, I think, to pay special attention to issues of creating communities within the networks, so that the nodes of the networks are not just individuals, but also various types of community formations, whether they're virtual communities or actual local communities. And so I think it's very, very important to study not only the sort of market versions of the network, but also, for instance, the open source movement around the Linux. The creation of the Linux operating system is a good example of interesting phenomena where there's genuine community formation also, and you could talk about communities of interest and communities of practice, which in a sense are perhaps new kinds of activity systems, sometimes radically dispersed in time and space, but still sharing an object around which they produce something new, not just consume and exchange. So I think that there is this issue of how do we make sure that these network technologies allow for actual production of the new use values, and how do we make sure that they are not overly individualistically oriented. So go beyond consumption, go beyond just buying and selling, and go beyond the nodes being defined only as individuals. Those are the challenges, and I think it's a very, very exciting field in that sense.
If we gave a time frame to that, what would you see as the major issues in network learning that might emerge over the next 2 or 3 years?